Hello, everybody. Wow, am I hearing something? I am. It's a little dark. Hello, everybody. It has been a while. I don't usually stream outside of my usual once a month TTRPG streams anymore. Mostly because I've been super busy. I got a job and stuff, which sucks. I don't recommend it. If I could be a content creator all the time, I would do that. Listen, guys, it's not the job itself that sucks. I could, yeah, see, there you go. I do at least Big Buddy Beat jump on that. It's not the job itself that sucks. I actually kind of like it. I kind of like it. I get to write for a living, which is fun. But like having to hold to a schedule, especially after you haven't in quite a while, that's the part that sucks. I should have been more specific. It's not fair. I really like the job. Watch me backpedal in real time. Okay, everybody, make sure to tell me if the sound quality is a little off. I haven't touched this in a little while. It's all the bullshit that goes with it. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, it's always, generally speaking, I haven't had a whole lot of jobs that have been shitty, like, as the core of what they are. I've had a few of them, but I haven't had a lot of them. Most of them I would probably find very pleasant if it wasn't for the stuff surrounding them. Mainly the ever-present danger. That's not why we're here today. We're here because I got some goodies over the holiday season. And in light of everything collapsing in the TTRPG sphere, or rather, I should say, after very rightfully the behemoth that is D&D starting to collapse, we are going to be looking at a whole bunch of new and exciting TTRPGs, and I thought I would start with this cool one that I got from Big Buddy B. Actually, to be fair, I got all my new stuff from Big Buddy B, so claps in chat if you got them. Big Buddy B's got an emote. Use it, please, pretty please. And for those of you on the YouTubes instead, I'm sorry, I don't think we've got emotes. Listen, our what's left of us YouTube page here, it needs some love. It needs a little bit of love. It's not quite at the high subscriber count that we need to actually do stuff with. So we'll get there eventually. We're rising pretty quick, actually, considering, at least considering my usual thing. I am very dark on your screens, aren't I? That's interesting. Maybe I should brighten that up. Yeah, I'll do that later. What is this? Hang on, maybe I can do it here. Light. What if I go brighter? Oh my god. Does that work? Hold on. I haven't touched my private solo. I mean, I guess that worked better. Yeah, okay, that worked. I haven't touched this stream setup here, this solo stream setup, in so long. I don't even know what my widgets do here. I was just excited. I finished my work today and I decided I was going to go and crack open this book because I haven't yet. So who is ready to see some of this? Double check that I put out all my feelers. I think I did. I think I'm all good. I think I'm pretty fantastic. Okay. So yeah, in the sense that I would like to get myself inducted to more TTRPG systems that aren't just D&D, we'll be trying these out. Mostly I'm checking out the ones that I have. No surprise there. But I also tend to get ones that have applications on the side that help with the playing of them. I use them. And since we're in the Cypher system, yes, I have heard very good things about the Cypher system. Amazing things. Among other things, of course, it is a Monty Cook game, the Cypher system. I suggest you all take a peek at that because it is also very cool. But the Cypher system uses a unique method to calculate how your stats work in-game. That makes it feel a little bit more dynamic, and I have heard ravings from people who have played it. I haven't touched it myself. Monty Cook, big fan of the stream. Monty Cook, if you're watching, and I know you are, thank you very much for all that you do. Yes, yeah, absolutely. I need to get a hold of Vasian or Vason or whatever that's called. Absolutely. Okay. Now, my setup for looking over this book, I need you to not laugh at me for 2 reasons. One, I need you all to be respectful of the fact that my desk is immense. Because I am big ADHD brain. Big McLarge huge ADHD brain. And, you know, let me see here. Oh, I did forget one place. Hold on. I will tell you the second one in a second. Second one, and again, I must stress to you all that you're not allowed to laugh at me. I don't have another camera mount. So my spare camera just gonna sit right here. Okay. Alright. Alright, you're gonna see. No, you're not allowed. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take a drink. Here. Okay, all right. Listen, we're good. We're solid. You can't. Right? You respect me? How much do you respect me now? Okay, we're gonna pop on over the game screen. I have this set up. Hi, everybody. Okay. Now, see, you're gonna see a little bit of my screen here, and again, I don't want you to. This is my desk. Say hi to my desk. I don't want you to have to feel weird. If I could get a mount over my shoulder or something, I would. If you would like to contribute to the funds, the Jaycorn funds, you can, if this is any endorsement, if somehow some of you out there are watching this and going, you know what I should do? Give money to Jaycorn. Then first of all, bless you. And second of all, my Patreon is for me. It is just for me. It is private, as in if you pay to Patreon, it will only go to me. If you pay to my Twitch subscriptions or my Ko-Fi, coffee, however you want to say it, that goes directly to supporting the What's Left of Us stream, which happens on the last Friday of every month. We play D&D. We are still going to be playing D&D because we started the game that way, and it's really, really hard to change systems. And so I'm not going to do that for the time being, at least until we find a particularly good method of doing so. So, okay, now that you all have the laughing out of your system. Okay, let's go. Very first thing that we got in our little box set is this really cool dice bag. I only have one other dice bag because I am not a dice goblin. But this is really cool. It's got the earth, water, fire, and air symbols on them, and it's got like a little metal clasp. Right, and we'll dump out these beautiful dice. There we go. Oh, my White Lotus by show tile. I was looking for that. Perfect. We'll put that over there. And then, oh, my White Lotus by show tile. I was looking for that. Perfect. We'll put that over there. And then, oh, my White Lotus by show tile. I was looking for that. Perfect. We'll put that over there. And then, oh, my White Lotus by show tile. I was looking for that. Perfect. We'll put that over there. And yeah, we got these really cool, really good quality dice. I don't know if the camera will focus in on them. Looks like on the 6th slot is the icon here. Yeah, absolutely. Otter penguin, I can't. Take that. There we go. Look at that. These are pretty cool. These are really nice looking, right? That's just that one. Where's a different color? This is gonna be really hard for me, a colorblind man, to pick out the colors here. Let me zoom in. Hello. Yeah. Yes. Let me look at that beauty. Right. Look at this. It's hi Sly. How's it going? All right. I'm asking how you doing, buddy. I haven't seen you in forever. That's more my fault than yours, obviously. But yeah, look at these dice. Look how nice there. Look, I'm just gonna like roll a mitt full of them. Look, don't fucking fall down. There we go. And we got a bunch of, obviously the symbols here are all over the place. We got earth, water, fire. The 2 extra symbols you hear over here are weapons and technology. If you want to be like a Sokka or a Asami type character, you can absolutely do that here. But yeah, look at these beautiful dice. Look at them. They're very cool. Ooh, let me get this. See, look at this. This is all, look at that. Again, if any of you see this and go, that's who I want to invest in. I mean, obviously, any peripherals are entirely cool. Alright, so look at those dice. These are very good. I'm gonna lean back a little bit so you can see my horrible desk more. But here you go. Look at this. If it'll zoom in on just this. Focus. 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 No. No. Hello. Hello. Well, you know, it's not that terrible. Yeah, B, how's your vertigo going, buddy? You know. So that all came in here. That was pretty good. It comes in this, like I said, beautiful dice bag. I enjoy it. I'm going to be keeping this. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's the motion of the ocean. I can't help it. Coming to you live from the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, sorry. All right, let's. This is my Pai Show tile. I got this because Big Buddy B got me the right pack for it, and it's very pretty, and I love Uncle Iroh so much, as most of the fandom does, and so here it is. It's very good looking. I enjoy it. It's made. I think the resin is probably the same stuff that they use to make the dice with, I should say. It seems to be anyway. It's raised. It's got some texture to it. It's real pretty. Real pretty. Right? Are you streaming from a GoPro? No. I have my Logitech C922 hanging from my shirt. Cause I couldn't. Couldn't get this to work. Everything was upside down and weird. So I hung it from my shirt. Look, this is the nitty gritty of content creation. All right, listen, all you out there making you know better. This is real life. That's show business. All right. Sometimes you gotta make do, and me making do is sticking my camera down my shirt. In the not naughty way. Don't clip that. Okay, let's go back. Okay, perfect. Well, I mean, listen, I'm tall. I could just stand and do this. Okay, pardon me. Put my camera in my pocket and carry you guys around. So I'm gonna tie that up over here. The next really cool thing I got from this, and this is honestly, I think I like this the most. It is a cloth map of the Avatar world here. happy to see. I'm happy to see all of you. Okay, look at that. No focusing required. Look at this thing. It's gorgeous. First of all, I really like cloth maps. I think cloth maps are just the coolest. So what the? No, will not. I'm sorry. It's about the same height as the other thing. My lovely partner is trying to desperately help me not be a doofus on screen. Unfortunately, the doofus is strong, and it will continue until morale increases. So here we are. Look at this. By the way, makers of the fine makers of the Avatar Legends RPG. Let me see if I can pull them up here real quick. It's something like Magpie. Hold on. I swear. I have this. Is it Magpie? It is Magpie official. Yeah, it's Magpie. So Magpie, obviously, this is the sort of content you want showcasing your brand new, carefully produced TTRPG. Absolutely. You all can thank me later. I expect a check in the mail. It's gorgeous. Anyways, this is gorgeous. It really is. I love this freaking map. It is, it's hard to say how big it is. Well, there's my keyboard, but my keyboard is bigger than normal. So my hand for scale, my hand is the size probably of your face. Whoever's watching this, my hand is likely the size of your face. So there's that for scale. I'll fold that back up for now until I figure out what I'm gonna do with it. I love cloth maps. I love them. Love them. My fucking favorite. I would have I know obviously they absolutely couldn't have done this, but I would have loved this cloth map to be absolutely gigantic. Just huge. No, I don't need a measuring tool, honey. Thank you so much. He's trying to help so much, and I am an unprepared dingus. But you know what? I think this is the sort of product review you've come to expect from my channel. Next up, some of you may have spotted it. These are the combat action deck. All right, these are in the game your combat actions, just like actually D&D does the same sort of thing because it's a much more complicated system. But basically, these cards will help you keep on top of the play of the game, right? So for instance, you have this, I don't know if you guys can see that prepared card here, right? You are ready for what's coming. Clear, prepared to take a +1 in an appropriate roll after the roll, or avoid marking a condition, right? Now this would be the same thing as like having a card in D&D that just said action. On your action, you can do one of these things, and then it would list what you could do. So yeah, some of these cards are also double-sided, as Big Buddy B is saying. So for instance, on the back of the prepared, you have stunned as a status, right? You're caught off guard. You can't act or respond for a few seconds until you steady yourself. And as you can tell by how shiny they are, because you can see my big idiot face in here with my camera that's glowing from my shirt. Hi, everybody. They are coated in it's, I don't like to say laminated. I don't think that's exactly what these are, although they could be, but they've got this sort of like nice smooth texture to them that stops them from sticking to each other, right? That's the prepared cards. What else do we got here? They all have stun on the back. Yeah, they all have stun on the back. We have inspired here. Clear, inspired to shift your balance towards the principle of your choice. Again, I don't know what these things mean yet. I haven't read the book. We are going to dive into that in a moment. And then on the back of that is just trapped. It's a Sokka with that is a something moose. I can't remember what that is. It is a bear moose bear. What is that? Dog moose. Moose wolf. It's the mighty Moosicorn. I've watched Avatar. I've watched all the Avatars. I've even watched the really bad one. Okay. Empowered. The picture of Uncle Iroh in his White Lotus uniform. Sure. And then on the back, it is impaired. I'm going to stop reading what these things do because I don't know what they do. So I will come back to these later. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. So yeah, there's an impaired on the back of the Uncle Iroh's empowered card. It's not bad though. Again, I really like that they're mostly shots from the TV show, is what it seems. Can I make you focus? What is this? What is this? Huh? Note to self. Be a better streamer. Be a better streamer. Yep. This is definitely gonna go look good on the highlights afterwards. Absolutely. This is exactly when one of my big streamer friends come in and they're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Oh yeah. There you go. That's one of Aang's kids. And Katara had a bunch of kids. I don't remember all of them. I know he named one of them after his friend Boomy. And then obviously there's Tenzin. Hindering some of the focus. Oh, listen. I mean, I could just manually focus the camera too. You know what? That might not be a bad idea. Hold on. I have the power. I'm a content creator. You guys don't even know. Configure video, right? Wait till you see this. Wait until you see this. Okay? I'm not gonna autofocus this camera. Oh, too far. Hey. Look at that. Okay, I'll apply. That's good. Yeah. All right. Look at this. Streamer of the year over here. Watch out. Watch out. What's on the other side of favored? I don't know what's going on. Doomed. Oh no. That's when that dude who became an airbender came by and started sucking everyone's air out of their lungs. Because every bender has to have something evil that they do. Every bending style, I mean. So, you know. I was doing the optometrist. Surprise! Surprise. Okay. Yeah, again, these cards are great. And then it looks like, oh, these are cool. Hold on. I'm gonna do this. These look like evade and oh, well, Jet. It's everyone's favorite shithead. It's Jet. Yeah, right. This is just listen. This is the extra charm. This is why you come to me. This is why all 5 of you came to me. Listen, I have a lot to answer for. Don't have to pay at the yeah, no kidding. Oh no, yes we do, because eyes and teeth are not counted in Canada. Because you don't need those to live, apparently. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what these are. I don't know what these cards specifically are. Maybe they're it seems to have to do with NPCs specifically, so I don't know. I know, right? Yeah, I have no idea what these particular cards do. I will look into that in a moment when I look into the book, and these will be good. And this one looks like the same thing, although this one isn't geared to NPCs specifically. Who's on the back of this one though? This is oh my god, hold on. All the evades weren't exactly evade and observe, evade and attack. Oh, but hang on, these are Jet. Defend and maneuver, evade and observe. Oh, it's Amon. Sorry. Yeah, it's Amon. There you are. I was gonna center it once I realized there was something different to show you. Advance and attack is still a mon. Something about maneuvering is a mon. Hey, there's everyone's second favorite shithead, I guess. It's Zuko's sister. Keep forgetting her name. Because I'm bad. I'm bad at this. She was Fire Lord for like a whole minute. Yeah, there you go, Azula. Yeah, exactly. The one no one liked. That's not true. We all love Azula. Good stuff. Let's see here. I didn't observe. Who's behind this one? Ah! Oh no! I literally just watched the episode with this Kyoshi warrior lady in it. Yeah, I don't know. My wife will probably remember her name more than I will. I think so. The K. I'm gonna call her Friend. Her name is Friend now. Because I don't want her to beat me up because I know she can't. Suki! There we go. There was a K in her name. Listen, this is important. Advance and attack, defend and maneuver. I assume the color coding means something as well. Aside with, oh, Tenzin! Okay, I know who Tenzin is. Listen, that's probably because, though, I was gonna cosplay Tenzin at one point. Because I think he looks dope as shit. Did you? Suki, yes, you did. Yeah. You're a little bit behind me. There's a little bit of a delay. Sorry. Watch me. This looks really bad, but I swear I'm not forgetting all of the women characters in this. And remembering only the men. I know that looks really bad on me, but I swear that's not what I'm doing. Tenzin. Toph. See, listen. How could you forget Toph though? She had the best version of those actors when they saw that play in the Fire Nation episode where they all hide out in the Fire Nation for a bit and they find out that there's like an Avatar play. This is in the first show. And then the actor who's playing Toph is like this big giant dude who just yells at everybody. Funny as shit. I love it. She beats the hell out of the boulder. Toph beats the absolute snot out of the boulder. Hey, Zuko. Honor. Played by the same dude who played Rufio in the Smash Robin Williams movie, Hook. A little bit of extra history for you folks who are born after the year 2000. Zuko. And there's Korra. My girl, how you doing, friend? I think Korra's great. All you haters can keep hating. I love Korra. And there's Aang. There's everyone's favorite fluffy boy, Aang. And in Avatar state, nonetheless, being all Angie, Angie. And that's all the cards on double sides. So these ones here, these ones specifically, the ones that are looking like this, these appear to be some sort of like specific action cards as opposed to the state cards that seem to be the other ones. But again, I haven't read the actual book yet, so let's dive into that in a second. Yeah, you should. You'd like the time period. They've got this sort of like early 20th century thing going on. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna put these back in the deck. Once again, thank you, Magpie, for making a really cool game with all these really cool peripherals, and thank you, Big Buddy B, for getting them for us. Okay, I'm gonna recenter my camera here. Yeah, that's all my little peripherals. I did, in addition to this big chonker. Look at that. Look at the size. There you go. Well, you also got to see yourselves for a second there, folks. Don't pause and play that back for a second. Look at this chonker. Look at this chonker book. In addition to this, I also got the adventure book, the one with the owl in the front of it. You know, the owl that was the librarian of that fancy forbidden knowledge area in the first thing. He had a name, I can't remember. It's on the front of the book that I literally have to my left. It's fine. Angara? No. No. You're probably seeing my Connie from Star Citizen. Just sitting right here. And the player journals. Oh yeah. They're all like player journals, but they're gorgeous. They're made out of paper. I put them somewhere safe, so they're not really available. But they're gorgeous. They've got like the I'm gonna put my hand over that. But they've got like the nation symbols on them, and then they've got, and one of them has like the avatars on them, and they're gorgeous. Okay, let's open this up. Good God, the angle of that light is great for my face, but not good for books, huh? Oh, and Nora. Sure. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, there's the map again. Oops, I done hit the camera. I'm sorry, chat, I hit you. I didn't mean to. There's a sun on the page, I know, right? Man. Okay, all right, kids, story time. Okay, you understand? Once upon a time, there lived many people. I lied. There lived Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. The quote from Uncle Iroh here: destiny is a funny thing. You never know how things are going to work out. Absolutely, Uncle Iroh. Rip Mako, the voice actor. Bunch of acknowledgements along the side here. Really nice to see. One thing I will mention is that I was happily surprised at is that the creators of this game seem to have gone to great lengths to make sure that there were experts in the field of the various indigenous tribes that and cultures in general that were obvious inspirations for the cultures in Avatar, and they made a lot of effort to make sure that there were some sensitivity readers from those areas also involved in the book. Isn't Yell, it's Aang plus 4 on the cover. Oh. Well, you see, the problem with that Sly is that I'm thick. And not in the pleasing manner. Where was I? Yes. They went through a lot of effort to make sure that this was particularly sensitively done. Like they've got over here, I know you can't quite make it out at this range, but you can see that the in the credits they have like a Chinese language translator, several of them actually, or at least 2 of them, who also help with the calligraphy, right? Like that's something that not a lot of other companies, especially some bigger companies, would have failed to have done. Table of contents, A+, no notes. It got what's on the pages over here. What page number is over here? What more do you want? Right? A+, 10 out of 10. Finally, some good content. Hey, it's our boy Aang. Welcome to the game, he says. I am not going to be going through this whole book. Look at the size of this thing. Look at the size of it. I'm going to be skimming a couple of pages, and then I'm going to probably say that's it. So we're gonna figure some stuff out. You can also randomly shout out like the parts that you want to find out. Like a lot of this is beautiful, fluffy goodness, and they're helping us out with figuring out how these rules work and where the story fits in and what you should be doing. This is all great stuff, especially if you were a first-time game runner, or even just a first-time like new to this system game runner, right? You should. I'm talking with my hands because my French coming out. Classes and character pages, absolutely. I would never leave that sort of delicious meat off of your plate. Put this over this way. Hello, everybody. I received. Oh, Restream. Why would you do that? Restream is like, you got 100 messages in your chat today. Yeah, thanks. I get it. Pardon me. So, when you're starting off in a new system especially, but if you're also new in general to running, you really should read as much of this as you can, right? Don't just skim over this stuff, because there are a lot of nuggets in here that might help you contextualize what you're about to be doing, and so you'll be able to be better prepared to run something, right? Let's see here. The eras that they want to cover on this, I'll read them out to you real quick because they're sort of important. The Kyoshi era, this is if any of you have read the Shadow of Kyoshi Avatar novel, that's what this is based on. Avatar Kyoshi was earthbending, and she's roughly, I think, Bronze Age for this universe. So that's all these eras are mostly talking about the events and technology level that you're going to be operating at. So it's up to you if you want to go like more Bronze Age sort of stuff, or all the way out to Tech Age. The next one after Kyoshi is the Roku era, right after Sozin became the Fire Lord, and Roku before Roku got married. The 100 Years War era. This is while Aang is frozen, so before the events of the Last Airbender. The Aang era itself is the Last Airbender, and then finally Korra's era at the very end. Then this is a quick brief mention of the kingdoms: Earth, Fire, Air, and Water tribe. Let's see here. Let's keep going. And then here's the training. So as far as I have been led to believe, the trainings are like what your power base comes from. And so we have obviously waterbending, earthbending, firebending, airbending, and then we have weapons and technology, which are the other two there. And basically every character in the shows or in the canon can fall into one of these 6 categories. I don't believe you're allowed to play as the Avatar in any of these. Although, of course, if you're running the game, then do what you want. Let one of your characters be the Avatar. Who cares? Okay. So what we need to play, this is important, because a lot of games are balanced around what the people who developed them think you need to play, or at least, well, think you need to play. That's a little pretentious of me. A lot of these are balanced around a specific set of stuff that the people designing it had in mind while they were creating the game. That's a better way to put it. And so, for instance, this one is like you need a quiet place, and you need at least 2 6-sided dice, which you don't need their special dice, but if it's cool if you got them, and I got them. Pencils and paper and some play materials, which is this book and a copy of the play materials. GM worksheet, campaign creation worksheet. Interesting. I believe this will probably be something you can download off their site or something. I have to double check that. Oh no, these playbooks are the empty player journals. They're just calling them playbooks. That's what they are. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, everyone's gonna need something to write in. Why not? Okay, so this will be the fluff, I imagine. Yes, this will be the history and the fluff. It'll have a whole bunch of really cool art. I suggest you all look over that, but I'm really not gonna be doing that, right? That's just not for me. Not for me right now. I know most of it because I watched most of it. There's a really cool map with a bunch of number corresponding there, so you can quickly look up something if you need to. It is good fluff, but fluff is not good for a stream, let me tell you. It tends to drag on unless you're doing something specific. Once again, I'll accept a thank you from the developers of this game at any moment now for this stellar stream that I'm running. We have fun here, folks. We have fun. Fishies! Hey, there he is! Wan Shi Tong. There you go. That's what I was talking about. The owl, this fucking owl fuck right here. See him? That asshole? Yeah. He's the one who's on the adventure book. That's all I wanted to point out. That owl asshole while I did the adventure book. There is Ba Sing Se. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Agni Kai, etc., etc. Let's skip ahead a few bit. There's a bit of Spirit World stuff, navigating the eras, some discrimination stuff if you choose to have that in your book. Once again, the setting has discrimination built in, and sometimes it's if it's what your table agrees to, doing a story that has discrimination in it as part of its conflict is something you can do. Make sure it's cool with your table first, right? Even though it has it in here, you don't necessarily have to run it that way, right? This is your table, your rules. It's like every librarian though, yeah. I mean, sure. He does look like he'd be fun to like pat on the head. You know, just like a little owl pat on the head, you know? Let's see here. These are breaking down the specific eras. Probably so that people who haven't run it or are only vaguely aware of what these things are have some historical context for the eras that they want to play in. That's quite a lot for the Kyoshi era. Holy mackerel. This is the Roku era we're on now. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Where do I go here? This is the Aang era. Now I'm going to skip a chunk, and the Aang era is right there. Let's skip another chunk. Ah, there we go. Fundamentals of play. Right? Nah, my mind's doing great right now. I mean, I'm a little tired from working, but let's... Okay. Let's see here. Many sessions, many stories, the conversation. What are we talking about here? Fundamentals of stuff. Framing scenes. What do you do? I think this looks a lot more like, again, general role-playing advice, which is great. Once again, I'm going to skip that because I am fairly good at it. Moves of your heroes, triggering moves and rolls. Don't know if I want to get into how the dice rolling works because that's kind of how the math is. It looks like an averages roll with the 2d6. Yeah. Move outcomes are straightforward. Anything totaling 7 or more is a hit, 7 being the average roll of a 2d6, right? And that's 2 6-sided dice for those of you who don't who haven't played much with polyhedral dice. Let's see here. Where was I? There we go. Anything totaling 6 or less is a miss. Some moves give additional options on a 10 plus, or give you more description for what happens on a 7 to 9 or miss. Each move is unique, so read the move carefully. Okay, that's interesting. So they're going to detail us a bunch of things we can do as moves, and then from there on, that tells us what we do with our rolls specifically. Right? Triggers and uncertainty. Handful combat, misses and failures. Once again, it's probably up to the GM to try and build on that sort of fiction, which is fun. My cabbages, I love that cabbage dude. It's one of the funniest gags they played. Cabbage Corp gets knocked over figuratively in Fora. Great. Learning Monster of the Week? Yeah, it's actually not too dissimilar from Monster of the Week, Sly. That's a very good point. Monster of the Week obviously doesn't have this much rule base, but you know, I like D6s as a fundamental rolling mechanic. I think D6s are great, especially when you get to combine a bunch of them. You're working on like probabilities of thirds, which is fun. So, you know. Okay, so there's fatigue, which I assume is physically, mentally, and or emotionally tired, stressed, and worn out. This is great. So a lot of old school RPGs work on what you all might be familiar with as health points, HP. And that's a very basic way of looking at your character's ability to stay on their feet, especially because a lot of those games are based on old combat games. But lately, maybe not lately actually, it's, I mean, for instance, Mutants and Masterminds, like way back in the 90s, was something sort of like this, have been more focused on the overall stresses of being in difficult situations in total. It lets them be a little bit more flexible with what counts as damage, right? So you can have like a particularly terrible argument and take quote unquote damage, but in this case they're framing it as stress, which makes it better. Whereas you can't do that in D&D. You just can't, right? It's just too punishing, so they don't bother. Upsetting. Let's see here. Taken out by conditions, clearing conditions. This looks like something interesting, actually, right? So it looks like when you gain a condition, something like being afraid or angry or guilty or insecure or troubled, you can either get guidance and comfort from your friends, other PCs, or let's see if I can frame that better for you guys. Or you can do something risky or unproductive to clear the condition. So basically, it looks like to clear the condition, you basically just follow the instinct of the condition. So if you're afraid and you run away, you will clear the afraid state, it looks like. But of course, now you're running away from everything, and thus you might leave your companions high and dry. So that's an issue, right? But that's smart too. I like that. That's playing with again some other stuff. Is that a picture of Jet? It is a picture of Jet. Hi, Jet. Whoop. I will raise my shirt up to see Jet. Hi, Jet. Okay. Well, that's neat. Principles, balance, and center. Okay. This looks like one of the primary mechanics, so I am going to read this. Into Poor Cabbage Man, exactly. Okay, so let's look at this here. Every companion has a balance track that consists of 2 principles, core beliefs or ideas that your character wrestles with. Okay. These principles are opposed, but not directly. They represent different ways of thinking about the world, and your character's problems then rarely boil down to simple opposites. For example, a character whose first principle will be self-reliance likely won't have a contending principle that makes them rely on others. Instead, they might have something like trust, representing the degree to which they are willing to believe that other people can take care of themselves. So that would be over here. You would probably, when you're making your character, you'd probably have something like self-reliance over here and trust over here. And as you move, you probably track this with like a coin or something, right? Yeah, this is, I think I like this way better. This has to do more with your personal compass, right? I think that works out a hell of a lot better. And it also is way more in theme with the, pardon me. Way more in theme with the overall themes of the shows. Righteous. Oh yeah, it's way better than alignment. Alignment never really made sense. It was just a very slapdash way to do that. To come up with the same thing. But I mean, also, like, it was made in the 60s, so we know more now about how we want to portray things, or at least we're actually, that's not true. I should say we're now listening to people who have more of a better idea on how this sort of thing works. So each balance principle reflects a specific worldview. Yes, we got that already. That means they're both important to your character and in tension with their other important principle, establishing your character's inner conflict. Oh man, we all love some inner conflict, don't we, folks? Some good old teenage angst. Let's do that. During the story, your character's thoughts and experiences push or pull them towards one idea or another. You track how you feel about your principles on the balance track, both your current balance and your center, the point to which you return to when you have time to rest. Your balance may shift as a result of moves or as a result of an NPC. You can consciously or unconsciously shifting your balance towards the principle by how they speak, behave towards you, and behave towards you, but your character's balance returns to the center over time. Okay, that's neat. So here, I'm just gonna zoom in here a little bit. So there are these diamonds in the center here that are literally marked center. And what it looks like is when you get rest, doesn't matter where you are on the top or bottom slide, you'll always return back to the center point. But taking quote unquote center damage, I'm going to call it for right now until I get the actual thing here. Yep. Will be like a more permanent change to your character's principles and how they view the world. And so that means when they're resting, they might dip towards one of these principles more than the other after some big event, right? Like again, going back to the self-reliance principle, for instance, if you use self-reliance and trust, say you're betrayed by somebody you were sort of learning to trust, I bet you that's the sort of big event that would make the game master say, okay, well, shift your center towards self-reliance then by 1 point, right? That's fun. I like that. I really, really do. Yeah, here's shifting your balance, losing balance, returning to center. Oh, bending. Yay. I'm a little less interested at the moment as to what bending is like. I know it's obviously the core tenet of the game, but if it is meaningfully different, as in overpowered compared to the other the technology or swordplay, I don't really want to know right now because that would be sad. However, real quick, trainings don't have a lot of limits, so it's up to you and your group. Obviously, I want to water bend that boat back to us. For instance, I want to bend out little handholds. Either way, the mechanics support you to challenge you as you do your powers. Okay. So what it's looking like here, and again, I'm going to go into more depth later when I read this specifically, but it looks like you're encouraged to kind of make up what you do on the spot. You know, for instance, they do this here. I want to earthbend out little handholds all up the side of this building so we can climb it. Just kind of like what the characters in the show were doing, you know, and then rolling to see if you can make that happen. That's not bad because that doesn't rely on the game designers or the GM having to write out exactly everything you can do and then saying that's all you can do. It relies on the imagination of the players, and I think that is particularly a good idea. There's the crew! There they are! The children, the teenagers, the ruffians, the hooligans. I love them. Your Honor, I love them. Okay. Choose an era, you get your team together. One thing, you are not allowed to be killers or villains. That is not the sort of game this is. Although, obviously, once again, everything here is a caveat that if you at your table, you want to run a private game where you say, we're all horrible sociopaths that use our bending for evil. That is up to you. You can absolutely play those sorts of games if that's the stories you want to tell. However, that is not the intent of these stories at all. And probably the mechanics don't work very well towards that particular gain anyway. They also make some other assumptions. Yeah, no murder hobos. For instance, every single person you make is at least a skilled martial artist, because obviously this is Avatar is like a kung fu universe, so everybody who would be adventuring knows at least enough martial arts to keep themselves safe. And of course, you also have to have answered the call willingly. What? Okay, well. Okay, well, you could have been pressured to take the role, but generally you have to say that you said yes to going on an adventure. And then you're all friendly, growing and learning, etc., etc. These are the principles of what makes an Avatar team. I'm down. I like the vibes. Making characters, this is really what I was trying to get to for this stream right here. I will be happy if we can get through this. Let's see here. They want us to pick a scope. Only cowards narrow their scope. I'm kidding. If it's too overwhelming for you, pick a very specific area of the Avatar universe and play in that. You can be all earthbenders. It's fine. I'm being a shit on purpose. Don't do that. Let's see here. This sets up, this is about setting up your group's focus, the thing that your group wants to do. In other games, again, I hate to keep bringing this back to D&D, but it's what I've got the most experience in. If you're building a character in D&D, they'll prompt you with something like, hey, like, why are you adventuring? Right? And it's the same sort of thing here. You should always, this should be done in a session 0 regardless. This is what session 0s are for. But you should always have your players, and obviously you as a game master, talking with each other about what you want out of this game. What sort of stories do you want to tell? What sort of things you're okay with, what you're not okay with, what you're kind of okay with. And the things you're going to, the mechanisms you'll have in place to halt play and have a quick chat with each other if things get too out of hand. These are the sort of things that have to happen regardless. And one of those things that should be happening is like what you want your group to do. If you want your group to be chaotic and not really know their focus as a group, then that is also a focus, right? I don't think they have one of those in here though. No, probably not. But they're not wrong in saying that every group needs something that holds them together, otherwise they won't. In D&D or other TTRPGs that I've played before, it's this we would call making sure that there is an adequate story hook that all the players agree that their characters would bite, right? You know, like you got to steal this thing or whatever, just something that keeps the party together. Because let me tell you, leaving that on the GM to decide the story hooks, I mean, it has to happen in a lot of circumstances, but at least at the very beginning, give your GM a break and come together and figure out what sort of story hooks you want on that. Inciting incident. They want you. They are suggesting that you build this in a 3-act structure, just like the show. And for those of you who don't know what a 3-act structure is, it's basically like there's an inciting incident. In Act 1, there's like an inciting incident, and we're introduced to the team, and you do something. You do something, but then you at the end of the first act, you learn something distressing. Act 2, you recover from that. You pull yourselves together, do something cool at the climax of it. And then learn what you learn what you need to do to beat the big bad. And then in Act 3, it's all about taking out that big bad. It is about figuring that out. And that 3-act structure, very broadly, is what they tell you the game is designed to be played in. And it's good. I've used the 3-act structure for a lot of stuff. I think the 3-act structure is perfectly fine. Our brains click with it a lot. That's why a lot of like TV shows and plays and stuff like that are made that way. We gel with it. Everything we've ever seen in our lives is probably based on the 3-act structure, so it's useful. Yeah, they have some examples here. That's not a big deal. Character concept. See, your character's playbook defines the role they'll fill in the group. Okay. Let's look at these roles here. Playbooks. So these are sort of character archetypes. It looks like, for instance, the first one I'm looking at here, it's called the Adamant. The Adamant will fix the world even if it means breaking all the rules. Play the Adamant if you want to contend with what doing right means in a complicated world. That's very cyberpunk of them. So this is much less like I'm a firebender or I'm a fighter or I'm a paladin in other games. This is more this is what my character's philosophy is. This is what my character acts like. Bold, guardian, hammer, icon, idealist, pillar, prodigy, rogue, successor. These will be character archetypes, right? I don't think you have to choose one of these. Let me see. Any of these playbooks can bend one of the 4 elements. There's no bender playbook, but they don't have to in order to be a hero. Think about the kind of character you want compared to the themes of each playbook. If you're not sure which playbook fits your vision best, ask the DM's group for. Okay, so it looks like. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, okay. It looks like you're choosing one of these playbooks is a part of the character creation process, so you're gonna have to. That's fine. I have seen worse things. Obviously, like D&D shoehorns you into a bunch of stuff, so this is no different. You're just putting what your character is. Like, figure out, this is your character concept here, and this is probably going into more detail. So this is the idea of coming to the table with an idea of what sort of person you want to play as, and then going, okay, so what does that sound like among these playbooks? And then picking one of the playbooks, saying to your GM, this is the playbook I'm going by. And I imagine you can change that as your character grows too. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly, I didn't even read down here, but it says basically concept or playbook first. It says, well, you know, that's up to you guys. You know, you can use one to define the other, and I believe that's perfectly acceptable. Names. They have these handy charts of names from the different kingdoms. I think that's pretty good. Air Nomad, Earth Kingdom, Fire Nation, Polar Water Tribes, Foggy Swamp Water Tribes. That's cool. I like that. I like that a whole lot. And they also, oh, this is really cool. They also show you the origin, the actual real life cultural origin of these names. So for instance, a lot of the Air Nomad names seem to be Hindi, Nepali, Tibetan. That's that there. Earth Kingdom names, Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Fire Nation, Japanese, Mongolian, Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian, Polar Water Tribe, Algonquin, Inuit, Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, pardon me, my bad. Anishinaabe, I think I'm living on Anishinaabe land, actually. I should learn how to say that a little better. And then the Foggy Swamp are Khmer, and then Chinese, Vietnamese, Chinese. That's really cool. And then obviously their meanings. I like that. That's dope as hell. Hell yeah. That's some good cultural inclusion right there. Fighting style. Once you've chosen your character's training, decide on their signature fighting style. So for instance, if you were going to do earthbending, it suggests here that your fighting style could be sandbending, or moving into and traveling through the earth, or wearing bands of stone and using them as controllable rings, seismic sensing, covering yourself in rock armor, that sort of stuff. So this is tying your character down to a way that they use their training, right? That is cool. Mostly because it is using, once again, it's relying on the player's imagination as to how they intend to operate. Very slick stuff. It doesn't rely on the GM at all. It doesn't rely on having to write a bunch of specific rules either, which is also very freeform and much better on the players in general. Let's see here. These are backgrounds, very similar to other TTRPGs you probably played before. You can be like, I was from the military, or I had a privileged upbringing. Every playbook also has 6 demeanors, apparently. Your character tends to behave in social situations. Once again, I imagine that this just like the playbooks themselves, are much more RP prompts than they are anything else, right? And I'd suggest you treat them that way from the looks of things. Yeah. Oh, you choose your look too. I don't think it has any mechanical things like in Cyberpunk, but like that's not a big deal. History questions. Sort of a very watered down life path, looks like. In the back of the playbook, you'll find 5 questions about your character's story so far. Take a moment to answer these now using any ideas or details you might have already come. So the idea is that obviously especially because they're building on the idea that earlier they said everybody is a martial artist already when they come to the table. They already have a goal in mind, etc., etc. That means they have been out in the world doing things, or they have been alive long enough to have experience. So yeah, you're not starting at a complete greenhorn here. Everyone is comfortable defending themselves and doing what they want. So Megaron, hi buddy. Yeah, I'm switching what's left of us immediately over to the avatar system. Sorry, not sorry. If you want to stop me, you'll have to get someone more powerful than me. Like literally everybody on the cast. Literally everybody on the cast could stop me. I'm kidding. Everyone could stop me, but I'm not changing anything. Because I'm afraid of everyone. It's Crab. Crab God with unfathomable powers. Crab. Turn to Crab. Conditions. We did that already here. Moment of balance doesn't require any decisions to be made. Oh. That's nice. So apparently, this is cool. This is, aside from all of this other specific stuff, like the stats here are interesting too. Let me do that before I do this moment of balance thing. Yes, honey, Rose could absolutely stop me. With this thumb. So stats. We have creativity, focus, harmony, and passion. Nice 4 stats, nice and easy. I like that. I like that a whole bunch. Once again, they're not leaning towards the standard like strength and dexterity and stuff like that. It is more about how your character views themselves and what their other abilities are, I think, you know. This is obviously much less of a combat focused game, even though it's a game about martial artists. I think in terms of crunchy combat where everything is related to a bunch of numbers and stuff, I think what this is going to be doing, and this is again from the briefest of glances, this is going to be focusing on making a cool scene rather than relying on dice rolls to make to let fate decide what we're all doing, right? Which is fine. And to go with that, they have this thing called the moment of balance. So you basically make when you're ranking your character, it seems, your playbook, you use your playbook's moment of balance. It doesn't require any decision to be made, but it is important that you familiarize yourself with it. Your moment of balance is a special and extremely powerful move that resolves an entire scene of conflict as described on your sheet. When you evoke it, you don't roll. Instead, you take the spotlight, gain control of the scene, following the script of the text, describing how you accomplish something seemingly impossible in spite of an overwhelming opposition. That's pretty cool. It is, they even mentioned down here that it's very much like a memorable episode, part of any episode in the series is either, as well, which is good. It's like a super move. You can bust it out and just say, I was saving this for the boss battle. I'm going to use my moment of balance and take him the HE double hockey sticks out. I can be kid friendly. Fucking people thinking I'm not kid friendly. Listen, I make myself laugh. That's really all that matters. People are gonna see this later and go, what the hell? This is like 2 hours of really blurry, shaky cam. And this guy laughing at his own jokes. I don't belong in this world, in this content creation world, everybody. I don't think. I need, like, handlers and shit. Do I have to fight? I don't think so. Interesting. It looks like it encourages you, if you want to not have to fight, which is fun. I like that. There are combat techniques, obviously. Growth question. At the end of every game session, this is something I wanted to get to as well. At the end of every game session, the players discuss what their companions learned during the course of the episode. There are 3 questions everybody always answers. You can see those on page 142, which I will go see in a minute. But each playbook also has a question which only that character answers. Each yes answer allows you to check a growth box. When you mark the 4th growth box, you advance. Oh, neat. Okay. Everyone, hey, everybody, it's time to do your group evaluations. We've beaten up this horrible person in town here, and now I want you to rate your fellow employees on a scale of 1 to 10 in various aspects and see if they deserve not a raise, because we don't give raises here, but raises, but you know, to see if they deserve to not have their personal schedules mixed up as a weird, creepy form of punishment. Continue. Can I play a canon character? I'm just gonna keep going. Time to rate the destruction of the cabbage cart? Absolutely. Well, it's always total. Listen, if you didn't total the cabbage cart, then you failed. Your party, that's a TPK. The party's done. I gotta make stream elements calm the hell down. I think my timers got all out of whack when I stopped using them. Gotta figure that out. Oof, okay. What else we got here? Core moves. Oh, I love me some cozy Korra vibes. I can do lots of stuff. Yeah, I can fuck up in spectacular fashion. That is a treat that only I can give. I'm gonna get a drink of water here. I've been talking for a while. Okay, all right. Basic moves, I assume, is something that everyone can do. Every character in Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, can... Okay. Sorry, there you are. Can use basic moves, each of which has can move the game's story forward. There are 7 of them. Assess the situation, guide and comfort, intimidate, plead, push your luck, rely on your skills and training, and trick. And the move to help another companion is also explained here. Okay, I gotcha. So these are... I don't recall them being on those cards, but I bet you they are. Although that's more of a combat action deck than they are just basic moves. So that's not bad, and then it'll probably go into what each of these moves do. Yes, exactly. Here are the rules for guiding and comforting your fellow companions here. Whenever they have a moment where they go over the edge, as it were, lose their cool, lose their balance, I think the game calls it. Spam the hydrate button. I, unlike Star, I am not a coward, and I left the timer off on my hydrate button. Shots fired, Tar. Nobody clip that and send that to her. I don't want her to murder me, because she will. So this is again comforting, which is nice. Pleading. Sorry, I'm just gonna make sure this is fine. Rules for intimidating. You can intimidate, you can plead. There's the leader of the heir to the Earth Kingdom during Korra. His uncle said no. And so when this is when Katara and Sokka pretended to be Aang's parents when they were in the Fire Nation. You have to imagine that that whole time, every adult saw through them and were just like, okay, but these kids are also really adorable, and I'm just going to let them do what they want to do, I think. Pushing your luck, uses your audacity. Yeah, I'm mostly looking for skills and training. Balance moves. That might be something I was looking for. Hey, it's Naga, the polar bear dog, the best girl. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. You can like call people out and stuff, basically. When you take an action in accordance with the values of a principal, mark 1 fatigue to roll with that principal instead of whatever stat you would normally roll. Okay. That's an interesting take on how to do things, right? So maybe if you're really bad at harmony or whatever one of the stats are, for instance, you can just decide to roll with your principal and take some fatigue. Or you can call on someone to live up to their principles. You can shift balance away from the center, then name the role on the principal. On a hit, they are called to act as you say and must either do it on a marker or condition. So I guess maybe if someone is like really, really good at passion and they're trying to roll with a passion roll, it looks like you can call them out and see if you can get them to roll on their principal instead. Maybe if their principles have been shaky lately, and get them to fumble doing that. That's interesting. That's cool. And you can obviously deny a call out too. That's interesting. Losing your balance. They got this great picture of Azula here having just lost her balance because, you know, the giving yourself a haircut thing. Let me explain something for people who may be a little new. Before the pandemic, cutting your own hair was considered a mark of maybe being a little stressed out. Maybe. This is for historians who look back on this time period and can only find historical archives of me. All right, let's keep going. We're coming up on I think my end though. These are mostly the crunchy move stuff, and I'm gonna need to take time to go over them regardless. Custom moves. Oh, hold on, we gotta absolutely read this. Hold on. The core moves of this game you can see through a vast array of situations. You won't need a custom move to resolve everything as something like a fight or a negotiation because basic moves already do a lot of that work. Custom moves then are for when you want something more suited to an individual situation. They're for times when the situation is specific enough, different enough, and interesting enough to warrant a more focused move to resolve some uncertainty. Neat. So this would be the sort of thing that DMs in D&D very often have to homebrew on the fly. It's nice to actually have something for that specifically, telling people that it's cool that they can do that. Especially with a system that is already nice and loose. I am pleased with that. Building custom moves. Oh, I got you. So they want you to build it beforehand, right? So rather, if you have to build it on the fly, they want certain things like a trigger. So when blank happens, then an outcome, then this happens, and then there has to be a stake so you can assign a dice roll to it. That's not bad. I like that because then everyone's working together to make a specific thing that fits a role. So that way you're already conversing with your GM, and your GM can say, well, this feels like you want to roll this thing, and then the player can go, yeah, but I'm being more specific than that, and they go, okay, well, what's more specific than the stakes are higher, and then there's a back and forth negotiation. I really like that. I think that worked out fairly well. Exchanges versus basic moves. Exchanges, let's see here. That's the combat system. I do not want to go into that right now. Okay. Okay. All right, well, you know what, everybody? I think I have been through a fair amount of this. Let me pop back over to here. I've been through a fair amount of this today. I'm going to take this out. Okay, all right. The Logitech C922 streaming camera, everybody. It's useful. It's actually better than this thing right here. But I was going to use this for when I was doing like reading or painting on stream. So I just got to find a rig for this thing to, like, I don't know, even sitting up here on this mount wouldn't be terrible. Maybe I can rig something. Maybe I think I can rig it over here. That's not terrible. It would wobble around a bit though. It's got to be something solid. Okay, everybody. That's really all I wanted to do. I just wanted to pop in and say that I'm gonna be going through a bunch of things. I'm probably gonna be doing another one of these with Cyberpunk Red in the near future. I just ran my first game of it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I think you all would enjoy watching it. So we're gonna take a peek at that at some point. We could do a raid on Steam here. I don't know who is, or on Steam, Jesus, on Twitch. I don't know who's on right now. Good question. Well, no one I know really is on. It's geez. That's the bot channel. I don't know why that's in my log. The things that happen. Well, you know what? I can't add the YouTube folks into a stream, into a raid anyway, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Thank you all for watching very much. I loved having you all here. I hope you all enjoyed your first little look at Avatar Legends. If you need to go buy it, you can buy it. I'm gonna find the link for you in chat. Hang on. Avatar Legends, I can do this. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm amazing. I'm great. Control C. Here it comes. You all ready for this? Watch this. Bam. There it is. You know what? I'll do it again. I'll do it a couple times just so you can all see it. If you want to pick up this game, here it is. There is also PDF content. If any of you are using the Demiplane peripheral to run it, if you want to go to Demiplane, you know what? I'm gonna do this too. I'm a streamer. I can do this for you all. I can do this. All right, here you see this. See Demiplane? Watch this. I believe that the Demiplane Nexus application will have a linked Avatar Legends library, just like D&D Beyond will. I have to look into it a little more. Don't quote me on that. But if you're going to run it, the Demiplane folks have an agreement with the folks who made the Avatar TTRPG. So enjoy the accessibility tools that come with being able to have a linked library. All right, everybody. I am going to see you all in I don't know, January 27th, right back here for the next episode of What's Left of Us. That'll be our 1-year anniversary. It has been 1 year. Can you believe it? I can't. A lot's happened this last year. Anyways, it'll be our 13th episode. Tune in. I should probably kill at least one of the characters. I'll try to make it work. I don't know. They don't like to let me do that sort of thing. I'm a very browbeaten GM. But until then, you will have a lovely rest of your weekend, what little hours remain of it. And I will hopefully see you at some time soon. Have yourself a good night.